You're listening to the Freelance Blend Podcast, episode 136.
Welcome to the Freelance Blend Podcast, where we entertain, educate and engage freelancers from the Philippines and across the globe. And now, here's your host, Marv De Leon.
Hello everyone and welcome to Freelance Blend Podcast. This is your host, Marv De Leon. This is episode number 136. And for this episode, so we turn the tables. I am the one being interviewed here by Mr. Jason Dulay of the Work at Home Pinoy's Facebook group, one of the largest freelancer groups in Facebook. He's the founder of that group and also the website Work From Home Roadmap. And he interviewed me via Facebook Live. So this was about a few weeks ago. And I would like to thank Jason personally for allowing us to use this audio of our interview so that I can share this recording of the interview with you, especially if you missed that Facebook Live session with Jason. So you'll learn more about my story if hindi pa kayo napupurga sa storya ko. So especially if you're a new listener or you're a new subscriber sa ating newsletter, so you'll learn more about my story. And you're also able to answer questions from the viewers at that time, and we had really good questions from the listeners. So I hope you watch out for that, especially a question by somebody whose first name is initials RA, and she was about to have an interview the following day, and she was asking us a question about if should she bring up yung medical coverage that she needs sa kanyang client and find out what we answered, what we suggested for her to do. In fact, it's a very simple answer. And ang follow-up sa story na yon, the next day, she told us after her interview with the client, or maybe that was 2 days after, she told us na she was able to get that client. She was hired by that client. So that's another reason why I wanted to share this interview with you, kasi meron tayong success story just from this interview. And just to let you know that even if you just listen or to this podcast or even join any of my Facebook Live sessions or even Facebook Live sessions by Jason, maybe we'll be able to answer your question and it will help you get a client. So listen to this interview, especially to that question and how we were able to answer that. And again, napaka-inspiring kasi she was able to get that client and we were able to help her by answering her question. Before we continue with the show, I would like to talk about one of the latest platforms for us freelancers. Have you heard of Golance? Well, you should. They're an up-and-coming platform and currently rely 100% on their freelancers to drive their sales. Opening an account is so easy. You can sign up using your Facebook or LinkedIn account and you're good to go. What's great about Golance is their affiliate program. They pay 10% commission on their fees to their freelance partners for life. You hear that? You refer somebody once, he earns on Golance, and you get paid for life. Now that's passive income. What's more, their fees to freelancers are among the lowest in the industry, and they're constantly working to find the right freelancer for the right employer. Do yourself a big favor. It's totally free to sign up. Just log on to freelanceblend.com/golance. That's freelanceblend.com/GOLANCE. Now to activate your referrals, sign up for an account, click on the referrals tab, and refer everybody you know. They pay for not just your freelance referrals, but also for employer referrals too. And again, they pay you for life. So this is an income stream in itself, and it's a great way to get the word out about this amazing platform while making lots of profit. That's Golance. Again, just go to freelanceblend.com/Golance. Okay, without further ado, this is yours truly, Marv De Leon, being interviewed by Mr. Jason Dulay of the Work at Home Pinoy's Facebook group. And please enjoy, sit back, relax, and sabi ko nga, enjoy.
Hello, good morning, everybody, and we are live. Good morning, everybody. Oh, we have a couple of people already commenting.
Oh, yes.
Today we have Marvin De Leon with us from Freelance Blend, also another experienced freelancer to share his story with us. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who he is, and it's long overdue to have him on our interviews over at WAP. So thank you for joining us today, Marvin.
Well, thanks. First of all, thank you, Jason, for having me. Always a pleasure to talk to your community, to your very large community of freelancers, and hopefully, hopefully we'll be able to give value to their day today.
Yeah, it's a good way to start the day with an interview such as this. So, Marvin, well, I guess we can start off by you sharing your story with us, how you got started, why you got into freelancing, how you got started, just to walk us through how it all happened.
Okay. So siguro I'll give a background on yung talagang where I started. So right after graduation, I worked for a foreign bank, and I thought I'll be there for a few years lang and then move on to another company. But it turns out I stayed there for 11 years. Kung hindi lang nagkaroon ng change sa aming department na we were spun off into this new company, which is para siyang startup na focusing on what our department does, which I was in sales. So I stayed in that company for another 7 years. So in total, I was in the corporate world for 18 years in the financial services industry. So siguro kung hindi nangyari yung na spin-off yung department namin, I would have stayed in that company, yung bank, which is HSBC, maybe for 18 years then. But yeah, so for yung, imagine 18 long years, I got bored sa yung doing the same things every day. Although exciting rin yung work ko because I was in sales, I was hindi ako nasa office most of the time. I go around Metro Manila meeting clients. But para napansin ko, it's since I handle big clients, so hindi naman nawawala basta-basta. So it's the same. Sila pa rin the same people, the same. Ang nag-iiba lang yung targets, mas tumataas, but it's basically the same. So in a way, I got bored. And while doing that, when I get home, I read books. I discovered podcasts. The first business book that I read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And that's when I realized na I won't reach my dreams being an employee forever. So that was siguro mga 10 or 12 years while I was in the corporate world niya. And so that opened my eyes, and I realized that I needed to create multiple streams of income, hindi lang isa. Kasi kung mawala yung corporate job ko, I'm finished. So, yung what Rich Dad, Poor Dad taught me is, yun nga, to create additional income streams. And one of those income streams is rental properties. And actually, if you were in the chat group kanina, yun yung shinare ko kanina, yun yung fresh pa. Yung, after reading that book, since I work in a bank, maganda yung, may benefit kami na we get better rates compared to yung commercial rate. So, mas madali humanap ng bahay ng repossess na bahay for rent, to become a rental property. So, siguro in about 2 years, I was able to find that property and have it rented. So nagawa ko na yun, parang I tick that off my list, and then umisip naman, ano pa bang other ways to earn? So that's my second income stream. So gusto ko nga multiple income streams. Yeah, so nakaisip ako ng business, maybe franchise, pero when ang naisip namin noon yung Generica. At that time, medyo bago pa yung generics thing.
Yung pharmacy.
Pero I found it na it was very expensive. 200,000 at that time, 300,000, medyo mabigat na. Tapos pero we applied. Tapos dadamputin ko to. Sabi ko na we applied and we found a location, pero we got declined. So siguro buti na lang we got declined, baka hindi na rin namin na pursue. And then I discovered podcasts and online businesses. So the first business podcast that I listened to is Smart Passive Income by Pat Flynn. And that's how I discovered online businesses, even freelancing. Kasi yung guest niya at that time, si Tim Ferriss, who wrote 4-Hour Workweek, which talked about freelancing. So doon ko na-discover yung freelancing and online business. And at that time, I was also doing graphic design. I was a member of our, sa HSBC, I was a member of our, kumbaga, athletics and socials group, yung mga gumagawa ng mga events for the company, for the employees. So I was the graphic designer for that group, which is hindi naman ako binabayaran to do that, pero I love designing. So I decided to attend this. So after listening to the podcast, naisip ko, why don't I create my own podcast? And that's when I decided, why don't I create a podcast for freelancers? Kasi hindi naman ako talaga freelancer and haven't earned money from freelancing, and I wanted to learn. So that's why I attended this event for freelancers, yung freelance camp. And another eye-opener for me, ang dami palang, so that was 2014, pero at that time, marami ng freelancers who are earning online, pero hindi lang sila nagpapakita. So, na-realize ko, parang marami palang freelancers na successful. And I wanted to learn from them, and I wanted to do an online business around that idea. That's why I created the podcast as my main channel. And that's how I discovered the world of freelancing. I was able to guest successful freelancers, and I was able to learn from them. And habang story ako, no? So fast forward to 2015, that's when I decided to focus on the business, which is Freelance Blend. On a side kwento, before I added another income stream, which is a preschool business. So naisip ko, if I resign, I can work for the school or work as a freelancer and work then on Freelance Blend, continue to build it. So I decided to resign from my job 2015. And so at that time, I was already doing workshops for freelancers and bloggers. And after that third workshop na about personal branding, I was able to get my first client. He was a podcast. Gusto niya magkaroon ng podcast. So he hired me to set up his podcast. And yun yung first freelancing gig ko. And so siguro let's just stop from there. Yun yung pinaka eye opener. So from there nga I was able to get local clients, and now nga I was able to get my first officially long-term na online client.
Nice. And by the way, for everybody watching, good morning, everybody. Once again, sorry I didn't greet those who said good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
And if you, daming good mornings. And if you have any questions for Marv or me, please comment in the WFHR page, and we can ask them live as well. But before that, I'll go ahead and ask the questions later. But before that, I do have some questions for Marv. So you said that you read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And for those of you who haven't read it yet, it talks about having multiple streams of income aside from just employment, because working in a company isn't as stable as you want it to be. About companies close, there's like financial crisis and so on. So you have to have other sources. So if I want to ask you, and you said that you discovered this, you had this aha moment when you were 12 years working in corporate, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So why did it take you 6 years from the time you had your aha moment to quit your job? Why didn't you just stop everything then and then say, I want to do this 100%?
Siguro fear. Since I was starting a family back then, when I bought that first property, I was about to get married that year. Mm-hmm. And then I got married 2006. And then immediately we had our first baby in the same year. So we got married Feb. Tapos my first son, my son was born 2006. And then 2007, yung daughter ko naman. So magkasunod yun. So it was, syempre, I want to make sure na I am able to support my family. And yun nga, we're a young family. And the security blanket that the company that I worked for was giving me, I was already in management at the time. And one of our yung benefits working for that company is we got 100% coverage for medical bills. And everything talaga from hospital to medicine. So imagine, that's why a lot of people who work for that company, they don't leave. It's because of that security blanket na coverage na not, parang siguro, yun lang one of the few companies in the country who offers that. Kasi when I moved to the next company, they can't match that. So may coverage pa rin, pero a certain level lang. With the previous company, it's in 100%. Kahit it's a tertiary na, tama ba? Tertiary na hospital, yung high-end hospital, they'll cover it. So, kumbaga, yung babies ko, yung son and daughter ko, wala kaming binayad, and we chose a high-end hospital. So imagine, and even yung cost of yung after yung vaccinations, it's very, very expensive. Alam ng mga viewers natin ngayon yan, yung mga parents natin, it's very expensive. So ang hirap basta iwanan yon. It was hard, and I think in a way, blessing din na we moved to that new company kasi parang yung dependence ko on that health coverage medyo nawala. Force you, in a way, hindi naman forcibly, we had a choice to stay sa company or to move to that company. But in a way, nawala, in a way, kasi at that time medyo malaki na rin naman yung kids ko. But to answer your question, it was really fear. At the same time, I was also learning and applying. You can't really buy a property right after reading the book. So it took some research, visiting the properties, working with a bank, working with a real estate company before you close that deal. And then at the same time, after that, yung renting, finding a renter. So it's another ball game. So it takes time. Pero but for myself, parang for me it's an achievement na I was able to apply something that I learned from a book, and it really works because most people will just stop at learning. And that's our topic today in our chat group. If you can see. So yeah, it's really the fear of leaving that comfort, that safety net that the corporate environment brings you.
And yeah, that's a very good point. Most people, they have the fear. They want to have that security, like you said, that security blanket that the bank provided you. So, and we get this question a lot from newbie freelancers, from aspiring freelancers, whether they should quit their job or not, or better yet, probably is when is the point that they should quit their corporate job and go into freelancing. So what advice would you give to freelancers who have that dilemma?
That's a good question, and I also get that a lot. Siguro from a monetary standpoint, you have to have a treasure chest before you jump into freelancing. Kasi there will, when you go into freelancing, there may be talagang a time na you won't get that first client immediately. Maybe months, even years. So you have to be prepared for that. So if you have a family, tapos ikaw lang yung main source of income, that will be a problem. If you have a spouse who's working, at least medyo covered ka. But if hindi, you have to have savings. Wala ka dapat utang. So I made sure na I don't have, I'm not indebted. I don't have a debt or debts. Technically nga, wala akong debts kasi yung mortgage ko for that house is being paid by the renter. So technically, wala akong utang. So you have to be prepared. You have to have an emergency fund na kung maybe, ang sabi nila, 6 months, pero siguro gawin mo ng 1 year or 2 years to prepare you na when you're finding that while you're finding that first client. So monetary side, yun nga, you have to have a treasure chest, and another important thing is yung mindset. You have to prepare yourself na again you're leaving the comfort of a salary, of a monthly salary, and mawawala yan. So there will be frustrations. There will be you will be doubting yourself. You will be when you get rejected sa mga gigs, you will feel down, but you have to be prepared for that. So para hindi ka ma-down, dapat prepared ka. You just take it in stride and just continue searching and applying for gigs. And ayun nga, that's what I did. The good thing na I was doing this while I was working. I was already preparing for my eventual early retirement. So that's what I really suggest. Dapat you're prepared financially, mentally, emotionally, physically for that.
In all aspects talaga. And I agree. I
Yes.
always tell freelancers that they should have at least 3 to 6 months is what I suggest, because normally it takes 1 to 3 months for freelancers to get started and get their first client. And it's better, like you said, it's better if you have another source of income for the family. If you have a co-breadwinner, if
Yeah.
I can say so. But so going back to what you said earlier, you mentioned earlier that you had the epiphany that you wouldn't be able to reach your dreams if you were an employee forever, which is why you looked into multiple income streams, business, and freelancing. So can I ask, Marv, what were those dreams? Let us know, like, what were those dreams?
Uh, yeah, I think yung dream ko was to retire. Hindi siya ganun ka, it wasn't that specific, but I just wanted to retire early. I wanted to retire at 40. That was my dream. To do that, I didn't know. But to dream naman, at least, diba, dream big. Tapos, you think about the steps along the way. So that was my dream at that time, to retire at 40. After reading the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was surprised after ko na lang na realize na when I resigned, when I retired, I turned 40. I was 40
Tama-tama.
years old and 2 months. 40 kasi May yun
Wow.
So 40 years and 3 months. And
Wow.
it happened. So later on ko lang na-realize, so nagkatotoo pala yung dream ko.
Quit at 40 and then have these other
Yeah.
sources of income. So, and that's, I think that's very, I think you talked about this with Liberty also, having that vision that you can foresee. Diba? And how old were you when you had this vision? You were 30.
Yeah, mga 30s when I think
Oo.
Rich Dad came out mga 2000 or 2001. I know I read it yung wala pang e-books yun eh. The first time siguro bago pa siya sa National Bookstore at that time kasi I had a paperback. So maybe so 2000 I was maybe late 20s na.
A late 20s. So more than
Oo.
10 years. So let's say like mga 20, 28, ganun. 28,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
So
Oo.
at 28 years old, you had this vision that at 40 you retire. It's like a vision more than 10 years in the future. And I firmly believe, my own belief, I don't know, with your viewers, with our viewers, we don't need to have the same beliefs, but I believe that when you do have a vision, there are two factors. First of all, there's God, there's a divine intervention that helps you achieve that dream. And there's yourself, wherein if you know that you have that vision in front of you, even if it's far ahead, even if it seems impossible, you do the little things every single day to achieve it. And you started the rental properties, you started the preschool, and then you started Freelance Blend, you went into freelancing, not even having that in mind, diba? You didn't even, parang it was at the back of your head when you were doing these things. And you were really able to achieve your dreams. So whatever dreams our viewers may have, it is possible to achieve them just doing those little things one at a time. So Marv, you mentioned, you got your first client when you were doing workshops for freelancers and bloggers. And I just want to ask, since you learned everything on your own, diba? Like, you read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, you listened to Pat Flynn, and then that's when you started these different businesses. So how did you become proficient or an expert to the point that you were able to deliver workshops to these freelancers and bloggers?
Okay. Siguro it's also confidence na even if I wasn't an expert, uh, I was starting at the time. I just wanted to try workshops if it's a way for me to monetize the freelance blend. So uh, yun nga, I think it's confidence na I know I'm a beginner, I'm just starting, but I'm still a few steps ahead of others who don't know anything about what freelancing is about. So yun yung target audience ko, and those are the people who I wanted to help through my workshop. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it certainly does, because I encounter freelancers, and I teach, as you know, I teach a master class right now, so I'm interfacing with several freelancers, and a huge concern is they don't feel confident in their skills. Like if they want to do, let's say, podcast editing, and they say, I don't have that much experience in podcast editing. But like you said, you don't have to be an expert. Kumbaga, you just need to be just a couple of steps ahead of, in your case, it was the audience. And in freelancers, it's your clients. It's the clients, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and transitioning, just making a quick transition into right now, tell us about the current client that you have right now in freelancing.
Okay. So my client right now is a podcast production. Bale yung role is a podcast producer. She found me through onlinejobs.ph. But if for those who are using onlinejobs.ph, you know that as a freelancer, walang fees yun. You work outside right after. And she found me there, and what she showed in. I showed in. So what I did is I wasn't really I'm not very deliberate in getting clients from Upwork. So what I just did is I created profiles, and in all the marketplaces, and if people find me there and reach out to me, then it's good. So I posted my profile in onlinejobs.ph as a podcast producer. Pero at first nga, wala akong specialization. I really nilagay ko lahat doon. Pero eventually, I started to focus on podcast production. Kasi yun naman yung experience ko. The reason why podcast production, kasi I think it's a step ahead, higher than podcast editing. Kasi ang daming podcast editor na rin, and I don't want to compete with low rate na jobs. And I think my value is being a podcaster myself, is my experience hosting a show and running it for 3 years with 100+ episodes. So yun yung nakalagay sa profile ko. And the client saw that profile, and I assume also researched the podcast. I also have a profile at yung pinaka-personal page ko, marvdeleon.com. And so when she reached out to me, talagang warm na. Parang she really wanted to work with me. She parang based on her email, parang you can feel the excitement she wanted to work with me. So during the call, so we arranged a call, and doon din na-validate ko na I wanted to work with her kasi she seems parang may level of comfort na talking to her, and she ganun din with me. And also sa profile ko sa online jobs, tinaasan ko yung rate ko doon. And so I knew that na she's in a way willing to pay for that rate, which is higher compared to what normal podcast editors charge. So the fact that she reached out to me, I know that she's capable of paying that rate. And so after that strategy call, I was able to get yung kung ano man yung problems niya, how I can help her. Then I created a plan for her, gave her options. So the role was just supposed to be podcast production, but nag-add ako ng additional option for me to help her with her online business. Kasi I experienced running my first course last year, and they're still starting from scratch, and they will be launching their own online program. Sabi ko, I can help you also with that. So I charge higher pa than what I posted in onlinejobs.ph. So kumbaga, I was aiming for the podcast producer role, pero sumubok lang ako. What if she wanted me to help her with her online business? So I charged a third option na higher pa. And when we were going over the proposal, I was surprised na she took the higher price option, which is an aha moment for me. And yeah, that was 2 months ago, and so far okay naman. She's really a good client, and she really nagbabayad naman siya. So it was an aha moment for me.
What was your realization? What was the aha?
The aha moment is that people will really pay high if you're solving a problem, if you're helping them solve a big problem. So that's the abundance mindset na naman si Shoden eh. So people, there are clients who, kasi we go to Upwork, ang daming people who are mga kuripot, unfortunately. And but you'll be surprised, there are clients who have the funds who are willing to pay high. Kasi maybe sa Upwork, there are people who are although small businesses, baka kuripot sila. They think that Filipinos are low income. They can get away with paying them a low salary. But ang thinking ko, if this business is hiring people also in the US, and they are capable of paying them high fees, and then tapos they pay us below their minimum wage, that's unfair. Why don't I charge at least kung ano yung minimum wage nila, or a bit higher? So yun yung aha mo. I can charge pala a high fee.
And so that was the aha moment when and for everyone watching, like the regular freelancer on online jobs was like charging this much, and then Marv was charging this much, and then when he proposed to be the business consultant, he was charging this much now. So it's parang different levels already, and that's the aha moment that Marv had, that there are clients willing to pay for what I'd call quality work. As long as you are able to deliver quality and show quality, then clients will pay your rates. And my own experience as well is that is totally true. Not just, well, I don't have experience in online jobs. I do have experience in Odesk, Upwork though, where clients are willing to pay $100 or higher for an hour of my time because of the value that I provide them. So. And like what Marv was saying, a lot of freelancers, in the Philippine community say, there are so many clients out there who, just pay me $3, $5 an hour, mga barat na clients. But there are clients like that. There are a lot of clients like that. But there are clients who are willing to pay for quality, who are willing to pay $15 an hour, $20 an hour. And we see this because right now we're running the Road to 100,000 pesos per month masterclass. And we've been seeing this, that clients in Upwork and outside of Upwork who are willing to pay higher rates. But it does take a specific mindset, like Marv said. Now, going back to this experience that you had, Marv, and are still experiencing, you mentioned that your only experience with parang podcast producing was your own show, right? You didn't really do this for clients in the past, no?
Yung bale second na kasi yung first
Second.
yung first client ko after the workshop, which was last 2015 or 2016, a podcasting din yun. So in a way, may isa na akong experience. Pero my best client is myself, which I think we talked about also yesterday with Liberty. Na my best client was myself, and it took me 3 years of building my brand, Marv De Leon, Freelance Blend, producing free content, producing workshops, producing meetups, to get to that point. Kasi nga, if yung client nakita niya na wala siyang nakitang website, wala siyang nakitang podcast, maybe I wouldn't have been able to charge that, or maybe hindi niya ako nakita totally.
And that's something I'd like to point out, that your own work on your own brand, on your own site, on your own podcast, is what made you give the ability to charge premium rates. Even though you didn't have, like yung iba, they say, oh, I need mga 10 clients muna before I can charge premium rates.
Yeah.
As long as, and you do good work with your own podcast, with your own website, as long as you do that, pwede naman, you can charge premium rates depending on the value that you give. I think this is a good time to ask Ray's question here. This is very in line with what we're talking about. Ray is asking, Marvs, how do you base your rates? Capacity of the client or something else? What factors do you consider?
Hi, Ray. Good morning. Good question.
Morning, Ray.
I charge it based on what I want. On the inisip ko kasi yun nga, I research ano ba yung minimum wage sa US.
Sa mga
ano ba yung
$8 per hour.
I think or magkano ba yun in a monthly? I think minimum nila parang 50 or 80K a month. If I'm not
if you
mistaken.
convert it into pesos, mga 80.
So
50,
I was
80.
thinking, I'm worth more than that. So dun ko hindi siya number of, I don't want to work na per hour. Tapos yung sa onlinejobs.ph, you can put there part-time or full-time. So I specifically said that part-time kasi I have my own business. So I can work part-time with a client kasi I'm also building my business. So wala talagang math into it. It's the rate that I think I can charge na premium clients will be able to pay. So that's my strategy when it comes to rates.
And I think one important thing here is knowing your value. That's Marv did the research. He looked at the minimum wage in the US, and each state has a minimum wage. But he knew he was a lot more valuable than a minimum wage worker. So it's important to know your value to the business, because what clients will be looking at is the value that you bring to the business. This is something I teach all the time. It's not really like comparing. If you look at Upwork and online jobs, you see so many different freelancers with different rates and so on. Some freelancers charge $5 an hour. Some freelancers charge $200 an hour. And it gets confusing. But what really matters is the value that you bring to a business. And if you can translate that value into monetary value, into money, just like what Marvin did, then that's when you can strike gold. Marvin, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, you can get that also through the strategy call once you're talking to the client So once you understand the problem, ano ba yung goal niya for the business, how much revenue. So if syempre if let's say ang revenue na target niya is 1 million, so hindi yun yung sinabi ng client ko, but if ganyan, so syempre may proportion yun na if ganun yung revenue niya, they can pay a high rate to you. At the same time, malalaman mo rin na sabihin niya, I hired this person here in the US for my team. So I assume nga na may team siya sa US na she's paying above minimum wage at least. So kaya naisip ko yung minimum wage na strategy. Plus na during the call, I also found out na she invests in high-end courses din. Which means she's willing to invest in her business. And yun yung mga parang flags, white flags siguro na, this client is capable of paying for value. So you get that from the strategy call. Kung kabaliktaran, during the call, napansin mo na kuripot siya, so ayun naman yung red flag. So baka she's just shopping around for the lowest rate, which ayun ang ayoko. So I'd rather say no to her, refer her to another editor if that's the case. Kasi yun nga, people who are yung mga kuripot, yun pa yung mahirap na client. So I think yun yung pinag-usapan namin yesterday ni Liberty. So yun yung that's you will really get a lot from that call with the client. So make sure that you ask the right questions.
Mm-hmm. And that's right. You can tell when you talk to a client, a call is very important. That initial call, at least, is very important when you're getting a feel of each other. The client wants to know more about you, what value you bring to the business, and you also want to get to know the client if it's somebody that you would like to work with or not. Like Marv said, you can tell if it's a client that you want to work with or not, and it depends on what kind of client you're targeting. What's important is that you should already know it. You should already have in mind what kind of client you want to work with, which is what Marv definitely had even before he started looking and started with the call. In line with this, Ninin Fred has this question: how do you tell your client po that you would like a higher rate? How do you say it?
You don't say it. What you say is that you can ito yung babalik naman tayo kay John Pagulayan strategy. I'm sure kilala yan ng mga viewers mo. Understand the problem and make them realize that you are the solution to that problem. And doon mo na siya ilalagay sa plan na ibibigay mo right after the strategy call. So nandun na yung rate. Pero yung sa plan na ginawa ko, it's very comprehensive na the client knows na I will be paying a high rate for this value. Kasi pinakita mo na yan sa call, pinakita mo na rin yun sa plan na binigay mo. And what I did that I learned from a podcast that I listened to, when you deliver the plan to your client, you deliver it through a call. So wag mo muna papadala. Pero medyo iniba ko yun Pinadala ko muna, tapos I walk through the plan in a call. Pero after ko padala, nakita ko na yung reaction. Parang, wow, Marv, this is very comprehensive. So I'm excited to get on a call with you. So yun pa lang, yung mga feedback ng client. Excited to. So parang alam ko na I can tama yung rate na i-charge ko for this client. And when we were going through the plan during the call, kasi nasa ilalim yung price eh. Hindi naman yan upfront papakita mo. So discussing the plan, so sabi niya, I think I understand the plan, but I have a few questions. But just walk me through. So inexplain ko yung plan, tapos nung parating na kami sa rate, siya na sabi, okay Marv, let me take over. I think I can take over from here. Tapos siya na yung sabi, I see your monthly rate, this is ganyan. I'd like to take the highest option. So yun na, di ba? Parang siya na nagsabi, sa kanya na galing. So, wala ako talagang minention na, wala akong na-bring up na rate. Oh, I will charge you very high. Wala akong ganon. I don't, let them like you muna, let them understand the value that you will give him or her.
Prove your value muna and show them, and then if you can show them the value, and they
Yes.
be willing to pay for that value if they want their business to grow. Like what you mentioned earlier, if a client's goal is to make $1 million, and if you can give them the specific steps to get to that goal, then then you really prove your value. A client would be willing to pay, I'd say even like $100,000, if you're the one who can take them to that $1 million mark. So that's exactly what Marvin did with his client. So Marvin, you've had really good success with this client, and you've had some clients in the past as well. Like aside from onlinejobs.ph, what are the other strong factors or strong ways wherein you were able to get your clients and clients were able to be attracted to you?
Okay, so after signing up that client a few months ago, ayun nga yung aha moment ko na I realized that I have to find more of that client. I have to at least find one more or two more para at least okay na, happy na ako at that rate. Tapos konti lang, syempre, versus 10 clients, di ba, na low rate. I'd rather focus on a few who give me high rates. And yun yung challenge ko now is to find more of her, of that client. So yun nga, I'm still going through that process. I'm trying to apply strategies that I learned from you, from John, and from Valerie Deveza, who I interviewed 2 days ago for the podcast.
2 days ago.
Connecting 2 days lang. Connecting to them through social media, LinkedIn. I'm still learning pa rin naman. I'm still learning. But for yung mga local clients who found me naman, who I worked with last year, kasi last year I focused on yung speaking, working with local clients for yung mga speaking engagements ko, where I focus on teaching social media for insurance agents. So yung niche ko, insurance companies. So it's really through connections, word of mouth din. Connections kasi nga I worked in the corporate world a few years ago, tapos I formed relationships. One of the industries that I handled was insurance industries, and meron akong mga kilala doon, and I just approached them kasi nga I was in sales and they know na I'm doing things on my own now. So I just approached them na I now do mini workshops for insurance agents, teaching them how to use social media to get leads for their business. So yeah, it took years then to form that relationship. So for those, ayun nga, totally outside of the online world, it's really connections, building your network, and not burning your bridges. So,
And this,
ano naman, may advantages din naman of me working for many years in the corporate world kasi nga, I was able to build that network.
and I think that can also apply in not just in the corporate world and in people you know personally, but also in the online world, where in my own experience, I built relationships online with different people, and I get referrals because people know me for my expertise. So just build relationships with people, especially when it comes to business owners. You don't want to burn any bridges. You want to keep good relationships with people because if sometimes we ask, oh, do you know a carpenter because I need my my cabinets fixed or something. It happens in the business world as well, wherein people say, oh, do you know somebody who knows how to do Facebook ads? In fact, on my Facebook feed right now, I just got somebody saying, I need a graphic designer who can give me a quick turnaround this week. So if there are any graphic designers watching this, perhaps you can message me, and then I'll message one of my contacts, a person I know through the online world.
Wala bang podcast producer?
Hindi pa. If ever somebody asks, then I'll let you know, Marv.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at my Facebook wall right now. So there are, it does exist, and it's important for you to really build good relationships with everyone that you meet, for sure. So let's go over some of the questions. I also wanted to ask you, Marv, about your own website. Do you think your website was an important deciding factor in you getting these clients that you got?
You mean Freelance Blend or Marv De Leon?
Either one.
Either.
And like, which one was more important, would you say?
Yeah, because I started with freelanceblend.com. And definitely, it's my brand. It's what is building yung leads. Like, for example, I talk to an insurance company, I direct them to Freelance Blend, dito yung mga workshops ko. Kasi I just started my marvdeleon.com workshop last year. I'm not really promoting it. Pero I need yung mga clients ko now there also for them to see what I do. Like for speaking, meron akong page for speaking, for workshops. That's where I direct them. And I would assume that wala pa kasi yung directly people contacting me directly from the website, so I don't really know, but I'm sure it helps. Kasi nga I link to that whenever I apply for a gig.
It adds, I'd say, it adds a lot of credibility to your own skills. Just showing that you have these websites and you have the podcast can really display your skills. Okay, let me just look over here. We have some questions here. And Juliet is asking, what do you mean, what do you say, when you say put value, what do you mean on the skills you have? Any tips on newbie on how to put value on their limited skills?
How do you put value? What do you put value mean?
I guess I guess because earlier we were talking about the value. I think she's a little confused. So I guess I'll answer this. When we say parang show the business the value, what we're talking about is that when you're talking to clients, it's not just the skills that are important. Because if you are a social media manager, tapos you do Facebook posts, tapos wala lang, Facebook posts lang, it's not, parang walang business sense. So I guess what we mean is that when you understand how this affects a business and how it's important to the business, how what you do directly affects the production of the business, the revenue of the business, then you can really prove your value and say, what I do for you will be very important. What I do for you, in Marv's case, is I can help you launch your podcast effectively. Because
Yes.
when clients are looking for freelancers to hire, there's an underlying reason. They're not just hiring them to write articles. It's because they want their articles to reach their audience and have certain results, diba?
Yes. Yeah. To add to that, I think magkaiba yung skills sa value. So, for example, I can just say to the client, ito yung skills ko. I will edit your podcast. It will sound very good. Na you will sound like Noli De Castro after I finish editing your podcast. So, ano yung value lang nun? Parang it's just a skill na magaling ka lang mag-edit. But if you think about the value that you will bring, so ano ba yung value? Ano ba yung mabibigay mo pa more than the skills that you have? So, I will produce a consistent podcast that will be available in iTunes every week so that you don't have to worry about it. You just need to record your audio, send it to me. I will take care of the rest. At the same time, since you are launching a course, and I have experience launching my first course last year, I will help you launch your first course and avoid yung mga mistakes that I made so that you launch it in a timely manner and then you earn immediately from that course and increase your revenue for your business. So yun yung value. Napakalayo from what I mentioned earlier in skills. I am a social media manager. I will post 3 times a day. So yun yung skills. Anyone has skills, but not everyone can bring yung value na mention. So think about how you can twist it, yung skills mo. Kasi yun naman ang hinahanap ng entrepreneur to solve their problem. So your skills can solve their problem, but maraming tao would have the same skill set that can solve their problem. What sets you apart is the value. So siguro buzzword yung value. So I hope I'm able to give it more meaning. Ano ba yung value? Ano ba yung what will make them a better person? What will make them earn them more revenue? What will make them a better influencer? What will make them more popular? So yun yung isipin nyo. How can you add to that?
Definitely, and it really helps when you understand like the workings of the business. Oh, there's I guess Sergio he posted this twice, so he must really want to know when your next seminar for social media for insurance agents is. Yeah,
okay. Yeah, for insurance kasi, this is ayun nga, my freelancing there is that I'm hired by the insurance companies. So, it's the insurance company who pays me to speak to their agents. Hindi to public workshop for insurance agents. It's a private workshop. So, to answer your question, wala pa. I'm thinking of doing an online course for insurance agents. Pero wala pa. That's in the future pa. So, to answer your question, wala pa.
I'm sure a lot of insurance agents would be interested in that. So I think that's a good thing to do, Marv.
Yeah, because I validated na there's a market for it. So yeah, maybe one of these hindi days one of these months.
One of these months. So coming soon.
Coming soon, yeah.
Herlene's asking, you do so many things. You do the podcast, you're doing freelancing, you have these side businesses. How do you manage your time?
Si Herlene naman. Hi, Herlene. tinanong mo na to sa chat group yata, di ba? Productivity.
But she wants to know from you specifically.
Just kidding. Yeah, well, ayun nga, this is for the audience of WAP. And, thank you, Herline. I'm just kidding. Kabiruan ko si Herline. How I manage my time, the good thing with this client nga, this is a part-time client. This is really, I'm not paid by the hour. I'm paid by the value that I bring to their business. So as long as I finish what I'm set out to do for that day or for that week, then I'm free to work on Freelance Blend. So ngayon, since I'm still new with this client, I'm focusing more on helping them. So siguro I spend usually a day or 2 days of the week for that client. Sometimes half a day, sometimes a few hours, sometimes the whole day. So when I'm finished with that client, that's when I focus on Freelance Blend. And the good thing with Freelance Blend, it's on autopilot in a way na I have somebody who does the editing and the writing for me. So I can just focus on the content. So yeah, it's a mix of Freelance Blend and that client. Yeah. And the rest of the day, I'm applying what John and Valerie is teaching to connect with clients through Facebook groups, through LinkedIn, through Twitter, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's it's not, you do have your priorities naman, and then you don't spend too much time with your client because you're also a very very active family man, right? You spend time with your family a lot.
Yeah, alam din naman ng client, and she's okay with it. Share the blessings.
We have a question. It's a pretty long question.
Wow,
but I read over this. We won't really read it word for word.
Yeah.
But her situation is that she's being offered a VA post. She has an interview tomorrow, so it's very timely that we have this interview right now. This Q&A right now, and she's asking. She has I'm not sure if she has a full-time job right now, but her question is: if I get hired, shall I accept the VA post, given that there will be no medical benefits? So I'll let you answer that.
You're asking us if you accept. It's hard to, di ba? Parang let me medyo I don't know. Parang nagiging dyslexic yata ako na. It's a long question, and if the answer is what do I do? Will I accept the job? If I get hired, shall I accept the VA post? I think I won't be able to answer that Kasi ikaw yung makakasagot nun you will be the one inside the call. You are the one who will be talking to the client. So you will know whether you are a fit for it or not. Siguro ang masuggest ko lang talaga is to be very open sa situation mo, and also prepare yung mga questions na itatanong mo, and make sure na first alamin mo nga muna kung ano yung problem and how kaya mo bang i-solve yung problem na yon. If you can, then if you get to the point na you're ready to yun nga, be open na ito yung situation ko, be very honest and frank with the client kasi I assume na US client yan or Australia, they appreciate being frank and open. So better to do that during the call versus na after na nag-sign ka na with them. So talagang be open to open lahat ng mga gusto mong sabihin sa kanya and questions. And make sure na you don't leave the call na may questions ka pa.
Oh.
So you will answer that question for you whether to take that job or not.
There's a question here by Divine, and she's asking if you outsource some of your tasks or if you have an in-house or full-time VA for yourself.
Now, before I answer that, I want also for you, Jason, to answer that yung question na yun, yung earlier question about post. Yung, if you can also chime in on that question, kasi baka you have another point of view.
Well, I agree with what you said, Marv. We can't really answer that question for her. It really depends on her. And from the question itself, I don't think we can gather whether she has an existing job or not that provides her medical benefits for her kid. So if she does, then she just like what you said, be honest with the client. If if your concern is being able to have medical benefits for your kid and then you have a full-time job providing that, then you might want to tell the client, you know what, I have a baby. It's very important for me that we have health coverage, and then maybe you can work out something where you can get maybe something like horsepower or another provider, so that your kids' medical needs will be taken care of. But what's most important, like what I said with Marvin, is just to be honest with the client. If it's not a fit, if the client's going to say, you know what, I don't want somebody with a baby, then next time, no, it's not the client that you want to work with. But if the client is very understanding, like Marv said, in most clients, most Western clients are very understanding, and if you tell them that, you know what, I have a kid, I want to take care of my baby, then they know how it is. And if you need some special arrangement, it's very important to set it up at the very start, at the beginning of the call, at the beginning of your relationship, which is the call, and not parang 3 months down the road, you tell them, oh, by the way, I have a baby and there's an emergency, which is, you don't want to give that shock to the client.
Yeah. So I'm thinking then, do you need to explain that to the client? Kasi, maybe, why don't you just incorporate it sa rate mo without even, kasi parang, I don't know, parang baka isipin ng client you're just appealing to yung para maawa siya. So, di ba, baka may excess baggage to. I'd rather hire somebody who's not, baka magka-problem pa in the future. Naman, baka, ito naman, baka you don't need to be too honest. I mean, why don't you just incorporate the medical coverage inside, yung kung ano may yung offer mo. You don't have to... diba, Jason?
I agree. It depends on what depends on her situation. Because I'm assuming that if she has a full-time job that provides that medical benefit, and then she wants to quit and work with a client, that she can be honest with the client, and it can work both ways. But it really depends on your conversation with the client, how comfortable you are. If there are a lot of factors in kasi, like, was the rate already discussed beforehand? Diba? A lot of times that happens on Upwork, especially on Upwork, also on the different platforms, parang there's already a proposed rate. And that might not have the medical benefits incorporated na, so hindi naman pwede na bigla-biglaan na, oh, by the way, I want to increase my rate. Wala lang. So it's also good to be honest, and I find that honesty, for me, when my own personal opinion is that when you're not sure whether to be honest with the client or not about a future possible concern. I'd rather be honest with the client. And clients are very understanding. They are human beings, and in my own experience, it's always, honesty is like the best policy talaga when it comes to clients. So when it comes into question, and there are really times when sometimes we think, should I be honest with the client about this, or should I parang work it around in another way? And my advice is always just tell the client, and then you work on it together, because they care about you, and not just the business. If they're a good client, and if they're not and if they don't care about you, then you don't want to work with that client anyway.
Yeah, did we answer your questions? Your question? Kasi nga ang daming factors na
Ayun.
we,
She's a full-time software QA, so so she does have a full-time job.
yeah.
So
Yeah, good luck to you.
good luck. I hope it works out well. We have a couple of questions. I won't project them lang, but we have a couple of questions about what's the best way to get direct clients without experience, specifically. Like, these are some people who don't have that much experience, and they're asking how to get direct clients.
I think it's either you have it's either kasi they find you again, building a profile, an online profile, where people can find, even maybe kahit sa LinkedIn, and building profiles in the marketplaces. Well, hindi na pala direct, but at least LinkedIn or website, and they contact you to work with you. So that's one thing. But it takes time kasi you're fishing You're waiting for the fish to bite that ano ba tawag doon? Bait. So that's one strategy. Another is to be more active in finding. So yun yung kumbaga passive way of getting clients, which happened to me found me in online jobs. And also yung nga sa yung another strategy is being more active, being more on the offensive end, kumbaga, connecting with them through LinkedIn, Facebook, but not pushing, just building a relationship first. Ayun yung realize ko after I interviewed 2 days ago si Valerie Deveza. She's a social media manager for many years. And ayun, na-realize ko na most successful freelancers have a process na they don't just wait na yun nga for people to reach out to them. Sila yung they reach out and they build relationships first. Hindi siya basta-basta na hey, work with me. I'm an editor. They build relationships first online, and then, or maybe offline. And then, when the time comes, si potential client na yung magsasabi na, so it seems that you know your stuff well. I'd like to work with you. So, ayun nga, realization ko, it's not quick na, it takes time din. It takes maybe months, weeks or months, or even years. That's why it's best to start now, to build that profile, to build relationships. Kasi it will take nga time before you reap the benefits.
I agree.
In anything, there's no easy way. There's walang quick get rich quick scheme. If it's get rich quick, then matakot ka. It takes time. And yun nga, na-realize ko si John does this, si Valerie, they are patient, they slowly build their network. That's being more offensive. And also, offensive meaning, hindi offensive na masamang way, being on the offense.
Minumura mo yung client.
Yeah. And also, yun nga, if you already have that network, then if you have a network of friends and family, then you approach them, you tell them what you're doing, and maybe they'll give you referrals. But you have to be consistent in doing that. So that's how you get direct clients.
Yeah, and I totally agree with what you said, especially the part where it takes hard work. If you're a newbie, then I would suggest, like Marv said, getting profiles in the different areas. You shouldn't really focus on getting direct clients right away. In my opinion, it's harder to get direct clients if you don't have any experience. It's a lot easier to work with an Upwork, with an online jobs, with freelancer.com, rather than getting direct clients. In my first experience with direct clients, aside from word of mouth, because I had clients refer me, but my first experience with direct clients is that I used to send emails to more than 100 businesses every day. So I did the direct email approach, and it is very tough. It's very time consuming. So I've been there, I've done that, and I don't suggest it for newbies because it's a pretty tough process. So if you're just starting out, work with an Upwork, work with an onlinejobs.ph. You can start your own website, build your own stuff, but it's a slow process, and it takes anything. Marv knows this. I know this. All the successful freelancers know this. Everyone who I interview who has been successful knows that it's not an easy road to get where we are. It takes a lot of time, a lot of struggle. Like I said, I used to email more than 100 businesses a day. So every week I'd email like 600 businesses every single week. And from that 600, I'd probably get maybe 10 replies. And from those 10 replies, I'd get one client.
One guy.
So
Wow.
from 600 emails, you get one client. There, it's if it can be worth it, depending on what you're offering. And for me at that time, it was worth it because I was also charging higher rates. Pero it's not, like I said, it's not easy. And start off slow, keep on building. It's not going to be easy. There are no shortcuts. Like Marv said. If there is a shortcut, it's probably a scam. So so it will really take time.
And it's I think it's either you're on the offense, you're patiently trying to connect, yung ginagawa mo, 100 emails a week or a day. A day, or you focus on your building your on the defense, working on your website, writing a blog article every day, or creating a YouTube video or live videos every day, and that will build your body of work. That will eventually people will discover you. So ganun din, it takes time then. So it's either you do or pwedeng sabay, then you get the best of both worlds, and eventually you'll get that first few clients na gusto mong to work with.
Definitely. We almost skipped this question. Divine was asking, do you have your own VA, in-house VA?
Yeah, for the podcast, as I mentioned earlier, I have a team doing that for me. I have an editor who is also sort of a VA for me, and also a writer and a social media person who helps with promoting the podcast. But for my existing client, for now, kasi nga, I'm working on they'll be having a launch. So I'm helping them with that launch. So hindi pa namin sisimulan yung podcast part. So ngayon totally ako lang. But when we launch the podcast, and yun na yung I will outsource then the editing part of the podcast kasi my role is producer. So ayun din sabi niya sa akin, I don't want you to be editing the podcast. I want you to be the producer. So it means na she really hired me because of my mind, my brain, because of my experience then. And she just rather na somebody else will focus on the nitty-gritty part of editing the podcast.
Tama. Okay, let's go. And I do, like, if I were to answer that, I do have several people helping me out. Even before I started WFHR, I did have like I've had a guy who's been working for me for 3 years now, I think. He's been helping me out manage clients and so on. So it does, as you grow, and charge clients more, then you'll, like Marv said, the nitty gritty, the specific details, the admin stuff, somebody else will deal with that, and then you'll be dealing with more of the strategic and high paying stuff. Ray's asking,
sorry to add to that, Jason. That's when I realized na gusto kong maka-work tong client na to, kasi when she said that, na sa kanya mismo nang galing na I don't want you to do the editing. I want you to be the producer. So
medyo mahal yung rate mo ata to do the editing.
No comment. Secret. But definitely dapat mas mataas na kung ako gagawa. And ayun yung gusto ko na it came from her. Na I don't want you to do the editing. So it just means na you just have to find the right client na who is open to that, na hiring you for your experience, for your smarts, kumbaga.
That's totally right. Our next question comes from Ray Baguio. Do you have a client acquisition process that you follow?
Yeah, I think I explained that already with the defense and offense part. Maybe ikaw, Jason?
I've done multiple strategies depending on, because I've been freelancing for 7 years now, so I do have a process. Right now, I'm not trying to get any new clients. Whenever a potential client contacts me, I say no, I don't have time, because I have a couple of clients right now and I'm focused more on WFHR. So currently, my client acquisition process is to say I don't have time and I give them to somebody else if I know somebody who can do the work. But
before that, when you were taking clients,
I've had multiple ways of getting clients. I've gone the direct email route. I've gone through Odesk at the time, and then Odesk doing an initial interview, and then closing the deal on that initial interview. I've done doing lead magnets, doing Facebook ads, attracting clients by running Facebook ads, and sending them parang freebies, and then getting them to schedule a call with me. So I've done multiple ways of getting clients, but it's important, and there are different processes that you can follow, but it is important that you do have a process. You find out what works for you, because it could be different. For example, for John Pagulayan, he goes on Facebook groups, and he has his own process there. Everyone has their own specific process. You can't, it's good for you to learn different processes, but you can't really copy a process because everyone is different.
Yeah.
So you can't, like one of my, I'd say, processes was to have clients schedule a call with me on Clarity.fm, but not many people can copy that because you need to really be like a business consultant in that case. So it's good to know about them, but come up with your own process. Find out what really works for you, what you're comfortable with. And then you can adjust, but just focus on that.
Yeah, it takes talaga experimentation. And if you found one that works, then double down on that, and then stop doing yung mga hindi nag-work. It's as simple as that, diba?
Tama. It's simple to say, but when we're in the trenches and when we're actually doing it, you're saying, "Oh, why did this work for Jason? Why did this work for Marvin? It's not working for me." And you keep on pushing yung mga stuff that are working for us but aren't working for you. It can get very easy. It's very easy to get distracted in that sense. So just that's right. Drop everything that isn't working when you do find something that is working. But you can always experiment a little.
I've been to
That's his question. I've been with 3 clients simultaneously for 5. nakakaumay na. Any tips para di mawala motivation? I mean, they do trust me for the years I've been with them, kaso minsan nakakaumay talaga. SMM, graphic artist, researcher, baka na-experience niyo na rin yung parang burnout na yung mga sirs.
It seems that you don't like what you're doing right now, to be very honest.
Yeah.
Yun nga, baka kaya ka na burnout because you don't love what you do. And maybe you haven't found the right client. Kasi like, for me, when I found that right client, I'm happy to work with her, to meet with her every time, and I really want her business to succeed because her success is also my success. Pero if your client is becoming successful and you are not, and you're not happy, then maybe it's not the right client, it's not the right job. So you have to maybe reassess your skill set. Ano ba gusto mo talaga gawin? And go out and how we explained earlier yung acquisition process, how do we find clients? Search for that right client for you.
Yep. I agree. It does seem like you're tired of doing what you're doing right now. And I've been through that. That's why I don't do SEO anymore, even though I'm pretty good at SEO. I stopped because it just I did it for 3-4 years, and then I just got tired of it, so I dropped it. And when I dropped it, I dropped a lot of clients. I dropped a lot of money together with it, just because I didn't like what I was doing. So if you don't like what you're doing, you won't last very long doing it. Right now, I do enjoy what I'm doing, both as a business consultant and with WFHR. So I'm really enjoying it. Even if sometimes I work like 10, 12 hours in a day, it doesn't feel like work because I'm having fun. And then focus on that. One other thing, like I find a lot of freelancers do this, they're stuck. They feel that they're stuck with clients because they can't drop work because they're charging too low. So it might be time for you to increase your rates, Elvin. You've been working like with one client for 5 years now. Maybe it's time for you. If you like what you're doing, but you have 3 clients, you'd still get burnt out because you're doing multiple things. So if you love what you're doing with one client, maybe you can increase your rate and then drop one of the clients. But I just remember what's most important is that you communicate with your clients and tell them. I remember I was talking to a business owner, and he said that what's important for him is somebody he can trust when it comes to hiring a freelancer. It's somebody you can trust. And I feel the same way. Whenever it's easy to find people who know how to do social media, who know how to do graphic design, who know how to do research. Yeah. But if you can find somebody that you can work with, that's not easy to find. If you can find somebody you can trust, that's not easy to find. And these clients, they trust you. So you can be honest with them and say, hey, you know what, I love working with you as a client, but I'm getting tired of this work. Perhaps we can do something else. And it happens a lot actually with clients, and most clients are very understanding, are very appreciative of you telling them instead of just resigning all of a sudden, instead of just quitting. And they'll look for other ways that that's my answer to that question.
Yung audio mo medyo naputol. I'm not sure if the others were able to hear that last sentence.
What was my last sentence? Just be honest with the client. Okay. Talk to them, tell them, if you have a good relationship with them, you can say, I love working with you, Mr. Client. I love working with you. I've worked with you for 3 years now, and I've had, you're a great client, but this work I'm doing right now, I'm finding it's not it's not something I enjoy anymore, and I'd rather do parang X, or something else. And most clients are very understanding. They would, they'd still want to work with you, and then move you somewhere else. If a client doesn't want to work with you, then it might be not the right client for you, and you can just drop them.
Yeah. Kasi he mentioned na yung trust eh. They trust him.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
baka merong other openings sa kanyang business that you can help, or maybe nga it's just really kaya ako, as I mentioned earlier, I think I just need one more na like that, and okay na parang kasi nga it's at that rate, diba? Parang I'm happy with that, and hindi ako mabu-burn out, and at the same time okay pa ka-work yung client. So if they trust you, and hopefully you trust them too, it has to be a two-way thing. So if you trust them na they will look out for you, na they want to work with you longer, then maybe they can increase your rate na, and you can maybe remove one so that you have just have, ano masabi mo, tatlo, di ba? 3 clients. Maybe just
Tatlo.
have 2 clients, your best clients that you want to work with, na can also either maybe promote you or at the same time increase your rate.
Yeah. Exactly. So let's see here.
Pero
Shabana Ali.
siguro to add to that pala, baka mamaya biglang timplahin mo rin muna. Baka mamaya it will cause na sabihin ng, alam mo yun, ayaw naman namin na mawala yung trabaho mo. Baka mamaya it will lead to, sabi ni Jason, i-increase rate ko, tapos biglang finar ako. So timplahin mo rin. We're just answering this based on the little information that you gave us, but you know more about your situation. So timplahin mo. We don't want you naman to lose your job.
To have that source of income, but it's important for you to stay happy, or else, like you said, you're going to get burnt out. Shabana Ali is asking for a step-by-step, so I'm just projecting this here. If you're a beginner, so I guess Shabana is a beginner, you can go to freevacourse.com, so that there are some videos there to help you out and get started freelancing. Let me hide that here, and looking for step-by-step. And I guess we'll wrap up pretty soon. So we have just a couple of last questions. Anne's asking,
can I see yung response ni Elvin ba yun?
Elvin.
Sorry, wala ako sa chat eh.
No worries.
Parang nag-respond. You trust them too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sobrang dami
Great,
ng
great.
nasa platform ko.
Dapat nga, it's a two-way thing. You're not an employee anymore. You're a business. You're an entrepreneur as a freelancer. So, dapat win-win. Trust ka nila, and you also trust them.
Yeah, and
If you
Althea
don't
is also
trust
saying,
You don't have the right client.
yeah, that's right. And you should drop them. I hate working with clients. I don't like working with. Althea is saying, burnout is always there. Take a break. Reconsider your setup with them. Schedule payment scheme. And I'd add to that, the kind of work you're doing, or get people to work with and help you. So thank you for that. House. Okay.
What side?
Well, let's answer this question from Anne over here. How do you convince your spouse to be a freelancer?
That's a good question. Just like in freelancing, it takes time. Syempre, you really need to discuss it as a couple, as a husband and wife. You need to wag ka basta-basta mag-decide without. Of course, this is a partnership din, ang pag-asawa. So you need to, especially naalala ko before taking that decision, nagkaroon kami ng meeting, kaming mag-asawa, and we figured out yung finances, if we will be able to survive with me leaving my job and becoming a freelancer. So it has to be with the blessings of your spouse. In anything, in any major decision, para akong marriage counselor. In any major decision, you have to involve the family. Kasi everyone will be affected. It's no problem if you're single. But if you have a spouse, then kailangan nyo talaga pag-usapan.
I can't comment on that.
Okay, how to convince? You have to show her the success stories. Panood mo yung let them listen to shameless plug freelanceblend.com where I interviewed Jason Dulay, Althea nandun, si John, to let them know na meron talagang kumikita ng malaki as a freelancer. So yeah, freelanceblend.com.
Also our WFHR page.
Exactly, yeah, yung mga live Facebook live sessions na past ni Jason. Panoodin nyo, watch it as a couple.
Instead of parang film showing.
Oh.
Movie marathon, iba-ibang interviews.
Yeah. Instead of Netflix, everyday manood kayo ng ng live sessions ni Jason sa Freelance Blend.
My plugs. So let's wrap this. Something's wrong with my projecting sa Be Live. There's an error here, so I can't project questions anymore. But seems like we don't have any coming questions. So let's wrap this up. And do you have Marv? Do you have any final advice that you can convey to the audience right now?
Siguro to wrap up yung mga na-share natin throughout this almost 2 hours na pala, no? Siguro just first experiment, if you're already a freelancer, yun nga, sabi ni Jason, walang one way to do it. There are many ways to do it. Find one which client acquisition process works for you, whether it's emailing, whether through Upwork, whether it's through onlinejobs.ph. Marami. Just experiment and work. If it works, then just continue doing that and focus on that channel. And also, yun nga, what worked for me is that I have a website, a blog, a podcast, which made it easier for clients to find me. And in a way, it's social proof that I know what I'm doing, and I will be able to help them in as much as I was able to help myself build that online business. So I think that's to summarize what we talked about for the past 2 hours.
2 hours na pala.
Almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you for that advice, and thank you for taking this time, Marv. I know you're very busy. You do a lot of things as well. Thank you for taking the time to share your story, to share your advice with the WAP audience. Thank you everybody who attended, who stayed on for this almost 2 hours. A bunch of people dropped off, but a bunch of you have been here since the beginning. So thank you for that. And if you want to get in touch with Marv, go to freelanceblend.com, freelanceblend.com, so that you can get more information. He has a bunch of interviews there as well to get you inspired. So you can head over there, find out more about Marv. You can also contact him there and see if he has any future workshops and so on.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Sorry, Jason. Just to add, again, this is I think the term of the day is value. Just to add value to your audience. If they still have questions, just post it sa Facebook Live session na to below. I will answer all of your questions na directed to me. I'll try to answer it this is available naman forever, di ba? So, I'll make sure na I'll turn on the notification. If you read this, watch this session in the future, and you're watching this recording, then you can still ask your questions. I'll be happy to answer them just to give value to your audience. It's my way. It's a pleasure to speak in front of your very large audience, and I want to add value to your group. So it's my way of thanking you, Jason, for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you. That's very generous of you. Oh, nag-work yung hack na ni Althea too.
Okay.
Let me just project yung freelanceblend.com. There we go. I wanted to show that. There we go. We have freelanceblend.com. Thank you, Althea, for technical support of BeLive.tv. Thank you, everybody, once again, and thank you for volunteering to answer the comments. So, if you have any additional questions, if you watch this a couple of months from now, Marv will still be there. I will still be there to help you out, as we both want to really help out people improve their futures. All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Marv, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day.
Okay, so that was the handsome Mr. Marv De Leon of freelanceblend.com, and also ang mas gwapong Mr. Jason Dulay of Work at Home Pinoys. And thank you again for interviewing me, Jason. And I hope you learned something from us, especially that lady who was able to get that client after asking us her question. And again, I hope we have also a Facebook group, yung Freelance Blenders group in Facebook. Just go to freelanceblend.com/blenders. You can ask me any of your questions about freelancing. You can also join our chat up group. You'll find the directions on how to join that chat group in Facebook Messenger by going to the pinned post in the Freelance Blenders group in Facebook. So I hope you join our group. I would like to say thank you to our friends at GoLance, especially to Mr. Michael Brooks, the founder of GoLance, who I actually interviewed before at episode 104 of the Freelance Blend podcast. Thank you for supporting Freelance Blend. And again, for you, dear freelancer, I highly recommend that you sign up at GoLance using my link freelanceblend.com/GoLance. That's GOLANCE. Now, signing up is so easy. Just sign up using Facebook or LinkedIn and you're ready to earn from the gigs being offered inside GoLance. What's great about GoLance is that you earn not just from the gigs but also by referring your friends to join the platform. So if you have many freelancer friends, just invite them to join GoLance using your special referral link, and then you earn 10% of the commission fee for the lifetime of all their contracts. Again, that's lifetime. Now that's so powerful. You can actually earn while you sleep. Again, please check out GoLance at freelanceblend.com/GoLance. And that was our sponsor, GoLance. So thank you again, GoLance, for sponsoring this show. Now, if you're interested to learn how to become a VA, I have a special link from Mr. Jason Dulay. That's just go to freelanceblend.com/VA bootcamp and you'll find out yung kanyang course on how to become a virtual assistant. So again, that's freelanceblend.com/VA bootcamp. And again, please join our Facebook group. That's freelanceblend.com/blenders. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thanks again for listening and peace to everyone. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Freelance Blend podcast. For more details about the show and our thriving freelancer community, please visit us at www.freelanceblend.com.